All right, everybody, welcome back to my figurative language series. My name is Ray and I teach English. And if you're watching this video, I hope you watched video number one in this series where we discussed the difference between figurative and literal language. Because in this video, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful types of figurative devices, and that one is called the metaphor. Now, you should remember from our first video in the series, we said that Sammy is a snake should be taken literally. Of course, that meant that the snake had to be named Sammy. But what if I told you that Sammy was actually a person? Not mean. If we think about the characteristics or the features of Sammy the snake that we saw in the previous video, we would know that this Sami doesn't have the same characteristics for the majority of them. This Sami is not a reptile. This Sami does not have scales and a tail. But what we know might be common between Sami, the physical, actual reptile snake, and Sami, the person, is that Sami cannot be trusted. So that helps us understand what's a metaphor. A metaphor is a comparison between two different things. Those two different things may not share many characteristics in common, but there should be at least one characteristic that they share in common, just like Sammy the snake and Sammy the person. A metaphor is a device that compares those two different things by saying one thing is something else. Sammy is a snake when we know that Sammy is literally a person. We shouldn't take it literally because a metaphor is a figurative device. Let's look at another example. Bella is a bee. If I said to you, Bella is a bee, and we both know someone called Bella, it would be weird for me to be talking about an insect that I've randomly named Bella. You would know that I'm talking about someone named Bella. I wouldn't be saying that Bella is an insect. I wouldn't be saying that our classmate Bella has six legs, two wings, and a tail. But what I would mean is that when our friend Bella moves, she's fast and that she's always moving. So, Bella may share some characteristic with bees, but she won't share all of the characteristics with bees, and that's what makes it a metaphor. For our final example, remember the rainbow? Look, there's a rainbow. There are several colors. But what if I was talking about someone's hair that was many different colors? Would I be talking about the rainbow that we can see in the sky after rain? No. If I said that someone's hair is a rainbow, that would mean that that person's hair has a variety of beautiful and vivid colors. So here are some other examples of metaphors. The classroom is a junkyard. My brother was a cheater at the track and field event, and even abstract nouns can be used to create metaphors. Faith is an anchor. That's a metaphor. It doesn't mean that faith is made of metal and faith is dipped into the ocean and dunked all the way down to the bottom, but it does mean that faith is durable, faith is strong, and faith is not easily moved, and that's what holds us in place. So, when I say that the classroom is a junkyard, I don't mean that it's literally a junkyard. What I mean is that metaphorically or figuratively, the classroom is very similar to a junkyard in terms of the way it looks, in terms of the way it sounds, and maybe also in terms of the way it smells. So, why do writers use metaphors? And why should you use metaphors in your narrative stories? Well, metaphors make writing even more interesting. Metaphors help to create tone and help the reader to experience mood. And metaphors help to visualize, they help us to imagine these vivid descriptions. So, that's why you should use metaphors in your story. This is just video one in my series, Figurative Language. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hit like, subscribe, and of course, share with a friend who you think will benefit from this content. My name is Ray, and I teach English. Bye for now, everybody.